Chinese President Biden's warning. Chinese President Xi Jinping recently met with Russian President Vladimir Putin. U.S. President Joe Biden has warned the Chinese president in this incident. He also warned that friendship with the Russian president could cause disaster in China's economy. In an interview given to the U.S. news agency CNN on Friday, the U.S. president said, "I recently spoke with Chinese President Xi Jinping. I told him, since Russia launched an attack on Ukraine, 600 U.S. companies have closed or been forced to close their business operations in Russia. Once before, Xi Jinping told me that your country's economy is largely dependent on European and American investment. I reminded him of his statement and told him to be careful. It wasn't a threat. I didn't make any threats, just expressed my observations to him." Last July 4th, the Alliance of Countries of Asia and Eastern Europe was at the summit of the Shanghai Cooperation Organization. Vladimir Putin and Xi Jinping participated in the conference of the world's largest regional, economic and security alliance as the heads of state of their countries. Before last March, Xi Jinping went to Moscow on a 2-day state visit with a proposal to end the war in Ukraine, but in that visit, there was no discussion about the establishment of peace in Ukraine, although there were talks about various issues related to economy and bilateral interests. Since the establishment of the Socialist Soviet Union in the 20s of the last century, competition with the country began with the capitalist United States. Even after the dissolution of the Soviet Union in 1991, the hostility between the two countries continued. However, in the last few years, the bilateral relations between the two countries have reached the bottom, and after the Russian forces started operations in Ukraine, it has become more bitter. The United States has also been extremely bitter with China for the past few years. The bilateral relations between the two countries have reached the bottom, and after the Russian forces started operations in Ukraine, it has become more bitter. The United States has also been extremely bitter with China for the past few years. The main reason for this bitterness is the Taiwan issue. In Friday's interview, Biden was asked by CNN what was the attitude of the Chinese president when he gave this recent warning to Xi Jinping. In response, Biden said, he heard but did not comment. "I don't think his attraction to Russia has diminished." Source, Reuters.
Clash again in Manipur, 4 killed including policemen. Again violence spread in the Indian state of Manipur. The police said that in the last 24 hours, 4 people, including a policeman, were shot dead in several incidents on the border of Bishnupur and Churachandpur districts of the state. A teenager was also among the dead. The border of the two districts has been hot for the past 2 months due to intermittent violence. There have been many deaths. There have been repeated attacks on the borders of the two districts despite strict vigilance by the army and security forces. The army said that miscreants are entering the two districts through mountain roads. After that, new incidents of violence are happening. On Friday night as well, miscreants secretly entered from both sides of the border of the two districts. After that, a new clash took place. They tried to set fire to several houses. But the incident was avoided as the security forces retaliated. Kabar NDTV. That is why the river water in Japan is red. There is a lot of panic among local residents and visitors about the water of a river in Japan being red. This incident happened in the city of Nago, Okinawa. The British media BBC reported that the water of the river has turned bright red due to the spread of paint by a Japanese company. This has been confirmed by Orion Breweries. The company has informed that the water of the river has turned red due to the spread of food coloring. This incident happened when the container got a hole in a port there. According to the news, the Japanese company prepares beer. Orion Breweries said in a statement that the incident probably occurred last Tuesday due to a container leak. The company also said that there is no health risk in this color. The company has apologized for the concern caused by the color mixed with the river water in the container. 2,200 earthquakes in Iceland in one day. Around 2,200 earthquakes have been recorded in 24 hours in the area around Reykjavik, the capital of Iceland. The country has Europe's largest and most active volcanic region. Because of this, meteorologists fear a major eruption. Kabar College Times and AFP. Iceland's meteorological office, IMO, said the tremors began under Mount Fagradalsfjall, located on the volcano, around 4 p.m. local time on Tuesday. 2 eruptions have occurred in the past 2 years, on the Reykjanes Peninsula, off Iceland's southwestern tip. In a statement, the IMO said about 2,200 earthquakes have been recorded. 4 of these tremors were greater than 4 decibels. Among these, the largest earthquake was felt in the capital region. Iceland's Fagradalsfjall volcanic valley is always crowded with tourists. Eruption tremors have not been observed near this volcano so far, but the chances of it happening here are also increasing in the next few days. The North Atlantic island nation is spread across the mid-Atlantic area. There is a rift in the ocean floor, which separates the Eurasian and North American tectonic plates. Tomatoes cost more than petrol in India. Tomato has now become the main topic of discussion in the Indian market. For quite some time now, the price of these daily essential vegetables has been increasing in different states of the country. Tomatoes have finally overtaken the price of petrol. The price of 1 kg of petrol is 96 rupees, while 1 kg of tomato is now selling for 120 rupees. The media of India says that due to unfavorable weather and heavy rains, tomatoes have been produced less in India this time, and this has had a very adverse effect on the market. On Friday, 1 kg of tomato was sold for 120 rupees in Delhi, the capital. At the beginning of this year it was only 22 rupees. This information is known from the documents of the Ministry of Food of the country. However, the price of tomatoes in Uttarakhand has increased to 250 rupees, according to media and NTV. Most of the people of the country are angry about such an unusual increase in the price of tomatoes. Many social media users are making funny memes about the unusual increase in the price of tomatoes. Several memes made of tomatoes have gone viral, one of which features the world's fastest man Usain Bolt and 3 sprinters. Tomato written on the Bolt, it is written on the other 3 shoes, diesel and petrol, meaning that the price of tomatoes is increasing faster than these 3 products. The increase in the price of tomatoes has also led to crime in the country. A farmer in Karnataka has claimed that some miscreants have stolen his tomatoes worth Rs. But this time it has reached an unusual level. The country's food officials said this period is seen as a seasonal price increase. Tomato prices will come down when the crop is harvested in August. The southern and eastern states meet 60% of India's total tomato demand. They supply surplus products to other states depending on the season after meeting their own needs. The Food Authority of India has said that the yield has decreased in these states.
The price of rice in the world market has exceeded the record of 11 years. Rice prices have skyrocketed due to reduced production due to weather. International market analysts fear that the price of rice will increase at least 5 times in the near future due to the influence of El Niño-style weather. This information was reported in a report of the British news agency Reuters on Thursday. India is the top rice exporter in the world. The country supplies more than 4,000 tons of rice to the international market. India has always exported rice at the lowest price, B.V. Krishna Rao, president of the Rice Exporters Association, REA, told Reuters. But due to lack of rainfall in rice-producing states for 1.5 years, rice production is being disrupted. Due to low production, the government has to pay high prices to farmers for rice, due to which the export price has to be increased. As India increased export prices, other suppliers also started raising prices. The United Nations International Market Index said rice prices in the global market rose by 9% in July this year. Last month the rate of price increase was 7%.